need angrier patrons.
For the first time since the January 6 riot at the U.S. Capitol, one of the nation's top law enforcement officials telling lawmakers Tuesday that riot was domestic terrorism, fueled in large part by white supremacist groups that represent a serious threat in the United States.
It has been the biggest chunk of our racially motivated violent extremism cases, and itself the biggest chunk of our domestic terrorism caseload overall. And the most lethality over the last decade has been from these same extremists.
In his first testimony since the attempted insurrection, Wray said the rioters came from a broad range of groups supporting white supremacy and militia violence, and that there is no evidence for allegations they were fake Trump protesters or disguised left-wing protesters.
While we're equal opportunity and looking for violent extremism of any ideology, we have not to date seen any evidence of anarchist violent extremists or people subscribing to Antifa in connection with the 6th. That doesn't mean we're not looking, and we'll continue to look, but at the moment we have not seen that.
More than 270 people have been charged to date for their roles in that riot, and the FBI investigations are expanding, said Wray.
With more subjects being identified and charged just about every single day. The FBI is committed to seeing this through, no matter how many people it takes.
Many Republicans arguing the domestic terror threat is equaled or surpassed by left-wing extremists, such as Antifa, citing the burning of a federal courthouse in Portland, Oregon last summer.
In the past year, we have seen massive rioting and violence as extremists, many of them leftist extremists, took to the streets across the country.
But Democrats pushed back, arguing lawlessness accompanying some pro-racial justice demonstrations pale in comparison to violent white supremacy.
It is not equivalent to a violent attempt to overturn the results of elections, nor is it equivalent to mass shootings targeting minority communities. This false equivalency is an insult to the brave police officers who were injured or lost their lives on January 6.
In a House hearing last week, Capitol security officials revealed they had not received a January 5th FBI bulletin warning of possible violence. Wray declined to speculate on how security precautions might have been altered if that warning had been read.
You know, I really want to be careful not to be an armchair quarterback.
Negotiations for a commission that would investigate the attacks and recommend security precautions have stalled as House Speaker Nancy Pelosi pushes for more Democrats than Republicans to sit on that panel. Catherine Gibson, VOA News, Washington.